The ultimate tragedy in life is to live and die without Jesus Christ. That's the ultimate tragedy. And God knows how many people commit it. Well, he tried something else. The crowd's out there, they're roaring for his blood. Kill him, kill him, kill him, crucify him. Why, what evil hath he done? And they cried the louder, crucify him, crucify him. And the voice of the chief priest prevailed. And Pontius Pilate was in a dither. He didn't know what to do. Wife would give him a hard time, too. You talk about a fellow had the need of the power of positive thinking. Boy, he had need of it. But that fellow's back then, his wife comes out and she says, I've suffered because of this man many things today in a dream because of him. He got that to put up with. And that crowd's out there yelling there saying, if you let him go, you're no friend of Caesar's. Whoever makes himself a king is no friend of Caesar's. And old Pontius Pilate thinking that thing over, he says, I gotta get something, I know what I'll do. I got it made, I got it figured out. I know what I'll do. I got to figure it out. I'll bring Barabbas up here. At the feast there, they're going to release somebody every year, and he said, if I give them a choice between Barabbas and Jesus Christ, I know they'll let Jesus Christ go, because Barabbas is guilty of murder and guilty of sedition. He's a devil. He's a rascal. I mean, they'll kill him before they kill Jesus Christ. So he brought Barabbas up there and put him on one side, put Jesus on the other. He said to himself, I got it made the shade. I got this thing whipped, man. I mean, I know human nature. They're just a little upset right now. I'm a little bit stirred up. They got a little bloodlust in them, you know. And if just give them a chance, they're good people. They mean well, you know. He had it all worked out, sharing and caring, have a smile, God loves, you know, that kind of stuff. And he brought Barabbas out, put him over here, and brought Jesus Christ out over here. And he said, which one you want to have me let go? Now, you know what he figured? He figured, boy, when they look up there and see Jesus Christ, they're going to say, well, that fellow's a bad fellow, and I don't like him, he irritates me, but he's a good man. I never caught him, you know, messing around about his wife or breaking the bank or stealing, never killed anybody. I mean, he's a good man. He's kind of queer. He's peculiar, you know, in my style, but he's all right. And when they see Barabbas, they'll say, kill that devil, get him out of here. But human nature doesn't work that way. When he put Barabbas up over there, they looked at him and they said, now here's that Barabbas. He's a cutter. He's a pistol ball. That bird up. But you know he's handicapped, you know, and he's raised in the ghetto, you know. And I mean, if you've been abused by the police like that all your life, you'd tend to be brutal and violent, you know. And after all, to be called that when you're a child, you could never get over that. It'd mark you for life. And he's a killer and a thief and a crook but he's kind of like me. Look at Christ over there and said, oh, there's that prophet. I never did like that guy. I just don't like that guy. He's just irritating. He's just abrasive. There's something about that fellow just irritates the fire out of me. I don't know what it is. I can't get my finger on it, but he's just peculiar. He's odd. He don't fit. He just, turn! That's what people are like, but just like that. You know what happened to old Pontius Pilate? He had him on his hands again. You know what he tried that didn't work? He tried cleverness. They'll try that. They'll try to think their way through. I got it figured. I'll work it out. I'll work it out. Whether you ever knew it or not, but until you maybe never thought about it, but all the world's great religious systems are systems designed to get around one decision. And that decision is receiving Jesus Christ. That's what they're for. The world's great religions, when I say that, I mean Mohammedanism. I mean Confucianism. I mean Buddhism. I mean Catholicism. I mean Protestantism. You know what those things are? Those are religions that are designed to put you in a place where you can get around making the decision Pontius Pilate had to make. I've known men to go off to school and study for 10 years in college just to prove geological strata so they could prove Genesis 1-3 was a lie so they could get around the new birth and reject Jesus Christ. That's what men do. You kids go off to college and they say, well, come to college with an open mind, you know, an open mind. Yeah, you know why they want you to have an open mind? So they can ram a set of prejudices down your throat. That's why they want to have an open mind. Some of these young people ought to close their mind for repairs instead of having open them all the time. And they say, get rid of prejudice. You can't get rid of prejudice. You exchange one prejudice for another. Don't you understand that? There's any such thing as somebody who's unprejudiced. If you're not prejudiced against African sex orgies, you're prejudiced against the Bible. If you're not prejudiced against rock music, you're prejudiced against clean living. There's no such thing as an unprejudiced life. You're on one side or you're on the other. While you take college campus today, they're the most enslaved environments on the face of this earth. There's less freedom of speech on a modern campus than there is any place on this earth. You know what they're turning out off those campuses? They're turning out newspaper reporters who talk about freedom of press and freedom of speech. And in those campuses now, all up and down this country, they got every kind of rule regulation in the world. Don't say this. Don't say that. Don't make jokes about this. Don't make jokes about. Don't say that word. Whatever you don't say, you'll offend so and so. My God, what a way to raise a bunch of yellow-bellied sissies. Why, that's censorship. That's violation of everything in the Constitution. It's on the campuses. On the campuses. You see what they're trying to do? They're trying to get along with every devil they got on the campus. That's the problem. They're trying to be tolerant. If you're going to be tolerant of that kind of stuff, then you can't be tolerant of street preaching. You can't be tolerant of tracts. You can't be tolerant of prayer. Of course you can't have the Ten Commandments in the school. Why not? You're a bunch of bigots. That's your problem. Bigot, bigot, bigot. Why, you take what's Protestantism. Keep the golden rule. Keep the golden rule. Do unto others you have to do unto you. In order to do what? Get to heaven without Jesus Christ. You take Roman Catholicism. What is it? Find the church that Christ founded, join it, take the sacraments, die in a state of grace. You say, how do you, to get around what? To get around receiving Jesus Christ. You know what the world systems are? They're nothing but systems to get around receiving Jesus Christ. What is Buddhism? Follow the Noble Eightfold Path, get rid of your karma, try to get through the transmigration, get off the wheel of life and birth and death, and attain Buddhahood, Bodhisattva, and attain prajna and samadhi, prajna paramita, and study the Diamond Sutra. Works. What for? To get out of receiving God's Son. That's all that stuff is. And you take Pontius Pilate. Do you think it worked with him? Why, you know it didn't work with him. It couldn't possibly work with him. He tried cleverness, and they said, let Barabbas go. What then shall I do with Jesus, which is called Christ? Kill him! Had him on his hands again. You talk about a fellow getting a mess. Boy, he got himself in a mess. And that's what happens every time a fellow gets up and preaches. Every time a man gets up and preaches and gives a gospel invitation, every time you knock at a door and sit down with somebody and try to lead them to Christ, every time that happens, they're confronted with a decision they've got to make. And they put it off, and they put it off, and they put it off, and it doesn't work. Jesus Christ, the hardest person you ever tried to get rid of in all your life. Matter of fact, you can't get rid of him. You know the last thing he tried? Well, the last thing he tried is the thing they always try. The last thing he tried is, and the last thing any man will try, is compromise. I mean, here's that crowd out there, kill him, kill him, kill him, crucify him, crucify him. Why, what evil hath he done?